Welcome back to the second hour, everybody. Friday. You happy it's Friday? August 16th, 2013. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, often on a rant because somebody has to be. You kidding me? Leading cause of death in the United States, MD-directed treatments. Leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, MD-directed treatments. What's going on here? Well, what's going on here is MD-directed medical treatments are only suited. Your medical doctor doesn't know what's best for you. Might be the nicest person in the world, but they only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is one tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It's called allopathic reductionism. It's drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, drugs and surgery, not to heal anything, but to manage the disease process. For goodness sake, they're awesome if you have your leg blown off. If you really do need that surgery. If you have, been sideswiped by an automobile at the red light, heaven forbid. You've got pneumonia. They're good for that. But for high blood pressure, obesity, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, everything else that everybody goes to the doctor for, they suck at what they do. They're the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy. I mean, like Dr. Phil says, how's that working for you? Not too good. Now, I promise we're going to talk about signs and symptoms of disease that your medical doctor didn't tell you because they don't give a crap. And because they're not concerned with patient education. They're really not. They've completely dropped the mantle of doctor. If you look up doctor, it translates to teacher, for goodness sake. Docere in Latin translates to teacher. When was the last time your medical doctor taught you anything? For goodness sake. So check it out. Edward James Almos, right? If you're looking at the live video feed, by the way, you can check the live video feed out at fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the radio tab, and there it is. Edward James Olmos, right? You know this guy, one of my favorite actors, but you see his cheeks where they've got those deep crevices? That's a sign that there's a problem with the small intestine and the large intestine, a sign that there's a problem with the small intestine and the large intestine. And, Edward James Olmos should be on a gluten-free diet because the main culprit of chronic, long-term, straws that broke the camel's back intestinal trouble are the consistent consumption of wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats over time will cause this type of a problem. Sometimes skin like this on the face can be the function of chronic acne as a teenager or even as a young adult, and these can be acne scars, but most of the time stuff like this is a function of really bad health of the intestinal tract, really bad health of the intestinal tract, and as far as I'm concerned, a drop-dead sign that they need to be on a gluten-free diet. Alcoholic nose. You've seen this. W.C. Fields was the most famous. I mean, this is a rather extreme example. It's a rather extreme example. But when you see men or women with large bulbous noses, especially if they've got prominent blood vessels, or if the nose is red, or if the nose looks like, the Grand Canyon, all kinds of crevices and creases in it, and it's like, holy smokes, what's going on there? Well, this is a direct indication that the liver is in trouble, I did a webinar about the liver last week, which is available to subscribers, Fire Your MD Insiders, for a nominal fee of $20 a month, $195 a year. If you join my online health recovery team, become a Dr. Glidden Insider, you're going to have immediate access to over 80 hours of archived webinars. And if you like the radio show, you're going to love the webinars, because the webinars are PowerPoint presentations with all kinds of cool information and cool pictures to make complex physiological stuff easy for you to understand, because healing is easy. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. And you don't know what you don't know. Earlobe crease, right? Again, I apologize for the tininess of these pictures. If you have a crease in your earlobe, you're at a greater risk for heart disease, especially clogging of the arteries, Now, as I was talking about with the last caller, Cholesterol is not the problem with arteries. Cholesterol is not the problem. I did a webinar about this as well, which walks you through what cholesterol does and what cholesterol doesn't do, and why this is not a problem, and why you've been fed a cock and bull story by the pharmaceutical industry about the evils of cholesterol. The problem is not cholesterol. It's inflammation in the artery. Inflammation in the artery happens because you're eating all the wrong food all the time, because you listen to Betty Crocker and Procter & Gamble and Monsanto tell you what to eat. You listen to the people who make the food tell you what food to eat. You listen to the medical professionals who have no training, no experience with food, tell you what to eat. And how's that working for you? Not very good. While we've been taking statin drugs, cholesterol-lowering statin drugs, to the tune of, I don't know, $20 billion a year, while we've been following the doctor's advice, having low-salt, low-fat diets, and exercising like our lives depended on it, the incidence of heart disease has remained unchanged. Cholesterol has nothing to do with heart disease. And if your medical doctor tells you that it does, they simply are not paying attention. Simply are not paying attention. Now, if you are having trouble falling asleep at night, that's caused not because you have a voodoo curse or a bad gene. It's because your body is deficient in calcium. You have a calcium deficiency. If you have restless legs at night in bed, that's a calcium deficiency. If you have ringing in the ears, chronic ringing in the ears, one of the major causes of that is a chronic calcium deficiency. How about that? You have really bad menstrual cramps? That's a calcium deficiency. You have chronic low back pain? That's a calcium deficiency. You have muscle twitches anywhere in the body? That's a calcium deficiency. All of these things are caused by not enough calcium in your body. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you are wide awake, you've had 2-3 hours sleep and boom, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you're wide awake, that's because your body is having trouble metabolizing sugar. Now, sugar is not the Antichrist. I did another webinar about that. Your body loves sugar. If your body could, it would marry sugar. Your body needs sugar. It is the gasoline of the engine of every cell in your body. Sugar is not the Antichrist. But your body needs nutrients in order to metabolize sugar. If you run out of those nutrients, your sugar metabolism gets funky. And when your sugar metabolism gets funky, one of the things that happens is you wake up in the middle of the night and or you fall asleep after you eat a meal during the day. So you'll have breakfast, a great big glass of orange juice, and 15 minutes later you're falling asleep. Hard to keep your eyes open. And you think it's because you didn't get enough sleep the night before. No, it's because the orange juice you just drank and your body can't metabolize it. You're falling asleep because there's tons of insulin in your blood and it makes you sleepy. Fall asleep after lunch. Right? And so this means everybody in Spain has a blood sugar problem because they all take siestas after lunch. They all have blood sugar problems. Well, I don't know all, most of them. Right? These are simple things that you can tell. If you look at somebody who's overweight, that's a multiple nutrient deficiency disease. They have nutrient deficiencies. You look at people who have dark circles under their eyes, that's a food allergy, most likely. They have a food allergy. It's a food allergy, dark circles under the eyes. Children who get nutty behavior, that's a food allergy. You want to look to see the very last thing that your kid had to eat or drink when they get nutty behavior. Chronic ear infections in infants, 90% of the time is due to an allergy to cow's milk. Just stop drinking cow's milk. It goes away. For goodness sake. Folks, you don't know what you don't know. And your medical doctor, your MD, has completely dropped the educational ball. They don't even give a crap about it anymore. I do. You want to empower yourself with knowledge about science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition protocols that actually work? Delivered by licensed, regulated naturopathic physicians with decades of clinical experience, then you've come to exactly the right place. Because this is how we roll and this is what we do. Please visit my website, fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Longevity button. Join Longevity. Join Team Glidden. Get your health back. Give my office a call. Give my associates a call, 855-347-3696. They'll answer your questions. We have boilerplate health recovery protocols that everybody can start to use right now. Do we treat disease? No. We treat people. That's one of the major tenets of naturopathic medicine. Treat the person, not the disease. It's called totally causum. Treat the person, not the disease. I've helped thousands of people in the last 24 years of my clinical experience. Not once have I treated disease, and thousands of people have recovered their health under the care of naturopathic physicians. Tens of thousands all around the world. You don't know what you're missing, folks. For goodness sake, one last time, I'm going to beat this horse until it's dead, and then I'm going to beat it some more, then I'm going to grind it up, then I'm going to feed it to a rabid dog, then I'm going to ship the dog to a deserted island in the South Pacific, and then I'm going to drop a freaking bomb on the island. Because somebody needs to say this over and over and over. Your medical doctor does not know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is really good for trauma care. It's really good for surgery when it's necessary, and it's really good for a handful of infectious diseases, but that's it. You know, you wouldn't go to a chiropractor for open heart surgery. So why do you go to a medical doctor for asthma, for arthritis, for type 2 diabetes? Because it's the only insurance it's the only medicine your insurance pays for. It's the only medicine practiced in your town. It's the only medicine legal in your state. You think we have a free medical market here? You've got your head in the sand. We do not. My profession is only licensed and regulated in 16 states in the United States. That's not right. You know, that's like passing a law that says nobody in Illinois can sell hamburgers except McDonald's. Nobody can sell gasoline here except Shell. It's nonsense. Well, guess what? We have an answer to this nonsense. You don't need a private consultation with a naturopathic physician. Here's what you need to do. Stop eating the 10 bad foods. Get on board with the appropriate Healthy Start Pack. Increase your intake of antioxidants. Get the heck out of the way and let your body fix itself. As God is my witness, it will. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Please visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on a link and join us. Look forward to it. Stick around. We're going to Germany when we come back to talk to our old friend Gottfried. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not angry, you're simply not paying attention. There's nothing wrong with anger. Righteous anger gets things done. We didn't have righteous anger, we'd still be speaking British in this country, for goodness sake. We all need to smarten up, take our heads out of the sand, get a clue. If you're happy with the status quo of your health care, God bless you. Keep paying your medical insurance premiums and keep going to these guys. But if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke, guess what? I'm your best friend, your new best friend. FireYourMDNow.com. Click the longevity button and join our grassroots coalition of men, women, and children all around the world who are helping to spread Dr. Wallach's message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified, boilerplate medical nutrition to anybody who wants to listen. We're suffering needlessly for lack of knowledge, and guess what? There's a new sheriff in town. His name is Dr. Glidden, and we're going to Germany right now to talk to Gottfried. Hey, Gottfried, Achtung, baby. How's it going over there?
Hey, wie geht's?
What's happening, man? How are you, and how goes the battle?
And everything's okay. I tried calling you today, but it was impossible. I think we were engaged somewhere.
Yeah. Just send me an email, Gottfried. That's the single best way to get me. You have my email address.
Yeah, I have it. Okay.
Let's get that together and we'll talk.
Okay. Listen, a friend or a new customer I got with the son. The son have this from childhood muscle defect, and he's walking and everything. It's very bad. He's 18 now. And the mother have arthritis and a lot of bodily problem, and women through, and she's growing weight, getting weight on. Yeah. And she wants something to be done. She's always in pain and all stuff.
Okay, so the child has interesting, right? This is, and from the proper perspective, right, everything makes sense. It all comes together. It's, you take the red pill and you pop out of the matrix. It's like, whoa, everything makes sense now, son of a gun. So, consider me the red pill, right? So, the mother has a child that's born with muscular dystrophy.
That's right.
muscular dystrophy is a nutrient deficiency in the blood of the pregnant mother. It's not a Mendelian transferred genetic thing. It's a damaged chromosome. Well, why does the chromosome get damaged? Because at a certain stage of fetal development, the fetus needs nutrients in order to keep that chromosome healthy. It doesn't have them, so the chromosome breaks, and the child is born with, in this case, muscular dystrophy. That's a drop-dead sign that the mother is nutrient deficient.
Okay.
Now, the mother gives birth and then, continues to live, and now her nutritional deficiencies come home to roost, and she develops arthritis, which is chronic mineral deficiencies, and now she's gaining weight, like our buddy from New Jersey. And why is she gaining weight? Because her body's running on nutrient fumes, and it's making her eat. It's her body's forcing her to eat in the desperate attempt to gain these nutrients. These are all different arms of the same octopus. When we trace it all back to the root cause, the most probable explanation is chronic undiagnosed nutrient deficiencies, which is a long-winded way of saying that she's suffering because she's taken the wrong dog to the hunt. She's gone to the MDs, and they're killing her. And, the reason that her child was born with muscular dystrophy is the obstetrician's fault, because it's the obstetrician's fault to make sure the baby is healthy. Well, under the guidance of her obstetrician, the child was born unhealthy. And then what do? They blame her. Can't be the doctor's fault. Oh, no. So, in order to support and promote muscular development in the face of muscular dystrophy, right, the recommendation is the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight. The Healthy Start Pack and selenium, appropriate for body weight. The add-ons would be 1 bottle of HGH Youth Complex, 1 bottle of HGH Youth Complex per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and as much Z-Radical as they can afford. 1 bottle a week, 2 bottles a week, 3 bottles a week, whatever. Z-Radical, the liquid form of Z-Radical, plus the HGH Youth Complex of selenium, and the Healthy Body 2.0 pack. Now, of course, this is all built against the backdrop for both of these people, and you, and me, and everybody in the listening audience, of complete and utter elimination of the 10 bad foods. Zero tolerance for the 10 bad foods. And for the mother, it's simple. To support and promote healthy joints, we do 1 healthy bone and joint pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And because of the weight issue, I would also add to that 1 bottle of plant minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month. So if she's 200 pounds, she needs 4 bottles of plant minerals plus 2 healthy bone and joint packs. Have her apply the CM cream topically to the joints that are in pain, and give it 90 days for both of them to see specific and measurable noticeable change. I'll look forward to getting your email, Gottfried. Let's knock it out of the park in the European Union. Stick around, folks. More to come after these messages. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. A couple of events coming up tomorrow. Yours truly is going to be lecturing at the Park Expo and Conference Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's right, Charlotte, North Carolina. We may have a mint julep or two, Charlotte, North Carolina. That's at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll probably go to 8, 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow night. To get information about this event, contact Daryl and Robin Sturdivant. Daryl and Robin Sturdivant, their phone number 704-953-2466. That's 704-953-2466. If you're a longevity representative, then or even a longevity customer, this information is in the resource center of your back office. So I'm going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow evening, God willing, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And Dr. Wallach is going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. Why anyone on earth wants to be in Las Vegas in August is beyond me. But nonetheless, that's how Dr. Wallach rolls. It's going to be at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the Spring Mountain Road, 5115, the Asia Pacific Plaza. The Asia Pacific Plaza on Spring Mountain Road. That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. For information about that, called Ted Soriano. 619-788-7037. 619-788-7037. So Wallach's going to be in Las Vegas, and Glidden is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Look forward to seeing you there. By the way, both of these events are free to the public, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. We're going to go right now to Houston and talk to Rob, who's been waiting forever and a day. Hey, Rob, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thank you for taking my call, Dr. Glidden. It's an honor.
Yeah, you're you're welcome. Thanks for calling.
I've been on longevity products for 2 years ago, and just a little snapshot. I was 310 pounds, metabolic syndrome,
Whew.
all kinds of health problems, 6'5", 310. Now I'm 6'5", 220. I've knocked off 6 medications. I'm down to one. I still take Ramipril for high blood pressure.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like the picture of health, and so did everybody else until about 3 weeks ago when I started getting really bad anxiety attacks and panic attacks, which kind of alarmed me, and I went to the doctor because I was having chest pains just to make sure I wasn't having an MI, and they did a EKG, and the strip said normal sinus rhythm, except for it was showing a PVC here and there, which normally I wouldn't worry other than the fact that I've never had a PVC show up on a EKG strip in my entire life, and it could be caused from the panic, attack that I was having at the time. But I know listening to you that you talk about how calcium and magnesium a lot of times is directly related, but I get, along with my diet and my healthy body packs that I get probably 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams a day of calcium and plenty of magnesium, and I take 2 healthy body packs along with 1 bottle of the Ultimate Dailies every day, and I still haven't been able to get rid of that one blood pressure med. It seems like whenever I go off the Ramipril after about 2 weeks, I'm back up to 150 over 100 again. So that's kind of a struggle. And then I just started having these panic attacks 3 weeks ago, and the EKG kind of bugs me. And as you can tell, I'm kind of nervous even talking about it because it worries me the fact that I've been getting all the right stuff in my body and eliminating all the bad stuff, yet I'm still struggling with panic attacks now, and they really it scares me.
Yeah, well, and rightly so. Rightly so. So how frequently do you get the panic attacks? Is it once a day, once a week, once a month? What do you think?
Well, I had one 3 weeks ago, and then I didn't get another one for another week, and now as time's going, the more I think about it, the more I have them. I'm probably getting one every day or one every other day now.
Okay, and when you get a panic attack, pretend I don't know what a panic attack is. Tell me what happens and what it feels like, if you don't mind.
Well, it feels like heart palpitations, like I start worrying about everything. I start getting jittery. I start feeling like pressure on my chest.
Okay, and you have an awareness that your heart is beating faster than normal?
Well, it feels like it's beating harder, and then I'll put on my blood pressure cuff or I'll just check it, and it doesn't really. My resting heart rate's in the mid-60s, and it's like right around 90 to 95, which is still normal, normal, but it's a little high for me, and then my blood pressure, which is normally 120 over 75, is not that. It's 150 over 100 during this episode.
Oh, okay. So now you live in Houston and it's summertime. Well, so let's not overlook the obvious. So how long have you been away from all 10 bad foods?
For about a year now. It's the main cause of my health being so good,
All right, so you're completely gluten-free, right? No wheat, no barley, no rye, no oats. Zero tolerance for gluten, right?
Yeah, the only diet breakage that I do is I'm about 95% nitrite free.
Yeah,
in other words, on occasion I'll have some cold cuts, and maybe twice a year my little daughter's birthday, I'll have a little piece of birthday cake. I mean, I'm very good on it.
All right, very good. Now, historically, when you were younger, you know, like in your teens or your early 20s, were you a victim or did you get anxiety and panic attacks when you were a kid?
Yeah. From the time I can remember, I would worry about things that were insanely ridiculous to worry about.
Okay.
From the time I can remember in the very beginning of my life.
All right, we're on to something now, okay? So, and then that stuff went away, and now it's back?
Yeah, I was taking Effexor 2 years ago when I started on the longevity protocol.
Yep.
And I slowly weaned myself off of that because there was a little bit of panic involved there as well. And then things have been going really good for about a year now, and then they all started again in full force.
Okay, well, you're experiencing Herring's Law of Cure, which is a fascinating thing. I wrote about this in my book, which, by the way, you can download for $10 through my website via Amazon.com. It's called The MD Emperor Has No Clothes. There's an extensive chapter about Herring's Law of Cure. And what we witness in the holistic community is that the body is a complex organism, and it's a system of checks and balances. And when the body's in a state of health, we refer to it as being in a state of balance or equipoise. The body's in a state of balance. And when the body's in a state of balance, it's symptom-free. Everything works the way that nature intended it to. Now, so we go down the road of life, and then we'll experience the stress. So, we get the flu virus, right? And the flu virus knocks the system off of balance, and when the system is off balance from the flu virus, it generates symptoms. So you get a fever and chills and a headache and so forth and so on. And then the immune system kicks in, and if everything is hunky-dory, the immune system pushes the body back into a state of balance, and the symptoms go away. Because the symptoms are not necessary in a body that's in a state of balance. Symptoms are only possible when the system has been destabilized and is destabilized. So what will happen often is, we're born and we go through life and we experience a particular stress, and which is then compounded by eating the wrong food and not enough nutrients. The body becomes destabilized and develops a certain set of symptoms. Now, in your case, it was anxiety and panic attacks. Now, the anxiety and the panic attacks were unable to resolve on their own, like, you can get over a head cold or the flu on your own. But in your case, the symptoms of anxiety and panic stuck around. And they stuck around so much that you needed to do something about them. So what did you do? Well, you went to the only show in town, the MD. And what did the MD do? The MD gave you a psychoactive synthetic drug which suppressed the symptom of the anxiety and panic. Now, that didn't cure it. It suppressed it. It's like taking a pain med for a headache. Well, the pain goes away, but the root cause of the headache is still there. So when the med wears off, the pain pops back, right? So now you're on longevity, and your body is firing on all 16 cylinders for the first time in your life. You've come off all these meds. You've made remarkable improvements in your health. You've lost all this weight. All this stuff's getting better. And now we're back to square one, because guess what's still sticking around? The stuff that was there initially, right? The stuff which is the anxiety and the panic attacks. So when this happens, now remember, what we do in longevity is we provide generic, boilerplate health recovery protocols for the masses, right, which you have done your due diligence with, and my hat's off to you, man, for doing this program and for getting these results. I mean, you really need to give yourself a giant pat on the back for stepping outside of your comfort zone to do this, and having the moral turpitude to understand that the MD knuckleheads, they got nothing more for you, and so you're gonna take a leap of faith, and it's not everybody that can do that. So, however, you now are in a rare position inside of longevity. And it is the rare individual that needs to do what you need to do now. I'm making up numbers. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 people need to do what you need to do now. You need a course of homeopathic treatment. You need a course of homeopathic treatment in order to push your body back into a state of balance, given your state of affairs right now. Homeopathy is a subset of holistic medicine. You know, and it's a separate and distinct system of medical treatment. It has its own diagnostic parameters. It has its own treatment protocols, similar in its uniqueness to acupuncture, right? Because acupuncture, I don't know if you've ever been to a Chinese medical doctor, but their diagnoses are like, oh, you know, too much wet yin and too much heat yang and too much spleen energy, and it's like, oh my God, your triple burner is unbalanced. And what the heck does that mean? Well, we don't know what that means, but they do. So my point here is that homeopathic medicine is a separate and distinct, it's a type of medicine which is extremely well suited to give people assistance in the definitive diagnosis of anxiety and panic attacks. And the good news is, when you deliver a homeopathic treatment to somebody who's completely nutrified, it works in record time. I mean,
and is it easy to find in Texas?
Well, you're talking to him. So,
okay.
So one of my specialties is clinical homeopathy. And, you know, I think this is the first time in 2 years that I'm going to recommend a caller call my office and book a phone appointment with me. I never do that because you never need to do that except one time out of 1,000. Well, you're the one time out of 1,000. So give my office a call, 855-347-3696. The recommendation for you to get on the other side of this is an individualized homeopathic treatment. That's what I'm going to recommend that you do, because everything that you're doing is perfect. And because this is a long-standing illness dating from childhood, your body's going to need a little extra help to get on the other side of it, and the nutrition just ain't going to cut it. I mean, it's going to go so far, but you need an extra little push. You need an extra little push. And I'm telling you what, man, homeopathy is just what the doctor ordered. So give my office a call. We'll set it up for you, 855-347-3696. Very, very happy that you made this call. My heart goes out to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We're dialing it in today, the 16th day of August. Happy Friday. We're going to Canada when I come back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We're finishing up the final segment here. Regretfully, we will not have time to talk to Becky from Washington nor Marshall from Oregon. I only have time for one more caller, and that is Damik from Canada. Hey, Damik. Welcome back.
Hey, great note, and you're welcome here. So I thank for you took our invitation to come. I think it's September 7, right?
Yeah, I'm coming up there in early September. I'm going to do a trifecta. I believe we're going to be in Red Deer, we're going to be in Calgary, and we're going to be in Camrose. So
great.
I'm very much looking forward to it, and I hope I can get there before the snow flies.
Oh, no, you don't worry about it. We don't get that early. Yeah, and then we have another good news. Dr. Wallach gave us a date, 27th of March.
Very great. Really good.
We're preparing for the boat, and so without further ado, I just push my question. Chondromalacia patella in the knees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I actually have both knee, and my physiotherapist 3 years ago discovered I have that, but it didn't got anything. But when I went through the last 9 months of this program, it improved really well. I almost finished about 30 some glucogel bottles. Yeah. And now I'm really I do every week 20-mile hike.
Really? So how much have your symptoms improved, Amik? Have they gotten 10% better?
I don't have a pain.
No pain.
I don't have a pain. Once in a while I have a pain, but I put the CM cream. But I just want to, we talk about proactiveness. I just want to talk about a little bit how do I get this through, because, when I look at the literature in Western medicine, it says wait another 20 years, then you are 60, and then you don't have this problem. That's what Dr. King said. Right? And and then they say the last thing we can do is doing those injection, halogen injection, but the research say after 3 to 5 times it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But I think this one works because I get this, I also drink the bottle, the
liquid glucogel. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't, it just goes faster because sometimes I cheated. I pour a whole glass of it and drink it. It's really tasty. Yeah,
Yeah, it is really tasty. All right, so look, here's the deal, right? The diagnosis here was chondromalacia patella, which is fancy schmancy doctor talk for chronic knee problems. Not really arthritis yet, but it's going to get there if we don't intervene. And remember, medical doctors, they love to categorize things, but they don't really have a treatment for it. We're going to inject it with cortisone. We're going to inject it with gold. We're going to put cement in there. We're going to do something. We're going to go in there and snip and clip, and then we're just going to wait until it gets so bad that we have to give you a titanium knee or whatever. Now, you've had this for a long time. You've been doing longevity diligently for more than a year, and there's no more pain, and you're worried about what you need to do to prevent it from coming back and to be proactive about it, even though you're out of pain now, so you're out of the woods. Well, what am I going to do? Well, the honest answer, nobody knows, right? Because everybody's different. Some people, once they've fixed the problem, they can just go on a maintenance program. No more glucogel. You don't need any extra add-ons. You just need the Healthy Start Pack and selenium, because everybody needs selenium. Everybody needs to continually avoid the 10 bad foods, and life is good. Some people are going to need to take a certain amount of glucogel every day to strengthen that part of your body, because for whatever reason, that's a weak link in your physiological chain. And everybody has different weak links. Some people it's their knees, some people it's their shoulder, right? Yeah.
I do leg press and leg extension, squat like that too.
Yeah. So all of these things are good. Exercises to strengthen that particular part of your body are good. I wish I had a generic answer for you, Demik, but I don't. So the only thing that you can do is cut down the program to a certain degree for a couple of months and see how you do. And if the knee pain starts to come back, then you just have to go back on the old program. You may need to be on the full boat program for a year or 2 or 3. We don't have any hard and fast rules here other than cut the program down, see how you do, and if you're okay, then you're good to go. If you're not, you have to go back to the old program. Stick around, folks. I'll see you next week. I appreciate your time. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Over and out.